In this video, I wanted to show how I use full panoramic skies to do sky replacements and the decision process around that whole thing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All of the examples I'm going to use today are architectural photos. I have this first one of a commercial property. The second one is several photos of a residential property. But I want to show you the decision process I make and how I use full panoramic skies in Photoshop's new sky replacement feature to make better photos. So I'm going to move kind of quick, so feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments and we'll go from there. So when it comes to making a decision, the first thing I look at is what's happening with the shadows. That's going to better inform what kind of sky I'm going to use. Also, I look at what time of day are we dealing with. So this is obviously something that was kind of taken maybe late morning, early morning. You can look at the shadows and see where they were cast. Obviously, you can see a shadow right here. I'll increase the size of my brush here so I can see a little better. See some shadows right here coming from the telephone pole. We see some shadows casting from, this piece that's coming out of the building here. So we know the sun's going to be somewhere up in this range. So I know that I need to find a sky that's going to have the sun somewhere up here. I also know that I need a sky that was taken either, in the early morning or late afternoon to match what's going on here, because if it were mid-afternoon, the sun would probably be somewhere straight up in the sky here and the shadows would be casting straight down. The other consideration I have to take, especially since this is an architecture photo, I need some consistency and I want to make sure my skies are accurate. So I also have the front side of the building, which was taken later in the day. So we know the sun is probably further back this way behind me. I can kind of look at the other shadows here. And this is probably actually taken a little earlier than sunset, probably several hours before sunset. But it's probably up behind me a little bit. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm really just trying to pay attention to where the sun is at. I think that's the most important part. I can also see that we've got some cumulus and cirrus clouds happening here. And some stratus in the back here. So it's a little more diffused, and it's probably happening behind me as well, which is why you're getting these softer clouds. So I need to find a sky that doesn't have super harsh shadows, that's going to generate some softer shadows. So let's go ahead and start with the sky replacement on these. And we're going to go into Adobe's new sky replacement feature. And I'm going to find a sky that I've created, a panoramic sky that I got at the sky library. And I'll show that to you quick while we're letting that load. And I'll show that to you quick while we're letting that load. Sky Library has over 200 panoramic skies that you can use in your sky replacements. All different types of skies. You can search by cloud type. You can search by time of day if you want. So in this case, we need to do, let's say late, or we'll say afternoon, because we know this was taken in the afternoon. So we'll see what options we have taken in the afternoon. And we need something that's a little softer. So this is kind of soft. So we'll pull this one up, Spring Afternoon 002. This could probably work for the sky replacements. We've got some of the same types of clouds. I think this will probably work. So we're going to find a sky like this, Spring Afternoon 002. And I don't know if I have that one loaded in here, but we can find something similar. So if we had purchased the Sky Library pack Spring 002, this would probably work. This is nice. We just need to find where the sun is located in this image. And as you can see with panoramic images, you can actually move the image around and you can select which portion of the sky you actually want to use so that the sun more closely matches up. Sun obviously looks like it's somewhere up here, which matches with our image. So we can put that maybe about right here, and it will match what's happening in the actual sky. So we can go ahead and hit OK, and that's our selection. I could have messed with some of the details to do a little bit more, detail work on this, but for the most part, we have a far more interesting sky than what we had here. So there's our first sky replacement. Now we need to go on the back side of the building, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Let's see, the shadows are coming kind of straight down right there. So we know the sun was behind me. So we're going to find a sky that does that. Obviously, clear blue sky. We know the previous sky probably won't work because of the types of clouds. It just doesn't really match. I mean, it looks okay, but it doesn't match really well. We can probably find a better sky, something with a little bit more blue in it. And any type of clouds will really work here because it's hard to tell with what's happening in the sky, what kind of climate we're dealing with. This is probably a little this isn't sunny enough. There's too many clouds in the sky. So let's find a sky that has fewer clouds. I think we'll go ahead and add one to our library. So I'll hit the plus sign here. And I'm going to go to my sky library's blue sky pack. I'm just going to switch it to icon mode and just get a quick preview of what we're dealing with here. And I can just hit the plus sign. It's going to show me a preview. I want to find a sky that doesn't have too much cloud coverage. This is actually a nice sky. This would probably work as well because you can see the sky was probably, this is probably taken, let's see, it was 9:30 in the morning. And that's about when this sky was taken, or when this photo was taken. So let's go ahead and select this one. We'll hit open. Go ahead and add that. It's going to add it to our panos. And this is much better. Let's find the sun and place it where it should be, which is somewhere over here to the left. And as you can see with the pano skies, you can position the sky in the correct location. That way we're not searching through individual. Now Adobe has some great sky options, these blue sky options. And this is what the majority of people's sky libraries look like. But again, you don't have control over where the position of the sun is. So you're having to collect hundreds of skies in order to pull this off. Whereas with skies from the sky library, you can simply just have a handful of skies if you want and reuse those based on what's actually happening. So again, this sky more appropriately matches what's actually happening in the scene. We'll just kind of move it over a little bit. And this feels better to me. The sun is in the appropriate location and all is well in the world. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And probably mess with the color with a little bit, but you kind of get the point. We can go in here and adjust. We'll use Adobe's hue and saturation, and we'll maybe mess with the hue a little bit just to kind of make it a little more cyan. And there we go. Again, not perfect, but you get the idea. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're messing with here. Whoops. Yeah, looks good to me. So let's go ahead and, yeah, that's a good match. So we'll move on to the next one. Now this is an example where let's find a shot where, okay, these two shots were taken probably 15, 20 minutes apart. So the sky is relatively the same, but this is going to be a good illustration as to why using a pano sky and being able to move the sun placement is critical. So what we're going to go ahead and do is find our sky. Again, clear blue sky, nothing really happening, some pretty harsh shadows coming through the trees, and I can kind of tell already that the sun was probably up here somewhere based on where or maybe even up here directly above me based on where the shadows are. It may have even been taken a little further behind me even. So as you can kind of see the long shadow happening here. So again, the first thing I always look at, where are the long shadows? That'll kind of give you a good indication as to where the sun is at. And you can go ahead and make your decisions from there. And again, this was probably taken maybe 15 minutes or so after, so I can probably use the same sky for these. We'll go ahead and find our sky, something that would, where the sun is, this is probably in the morning, so let's just say we need to find a morning sky that that would have cast some long shadows. So nothing with a lot of cloud coverage. Like this sky does not match. It's a good blue sky, but it doesn't really match what's happening in the scene. So let's go back to the sky library. We're going to search morning here and just see what pops up. So something like this could work. There's not very many interesting skies in there, so it's not really going to work for our purposes. Something like this could work. Summer morning. We've got some interesting, I think these are cirrus clouds here happening. Let's look at the description. Thin and wispy clouds are cirrus. Yep. And for those of you who aren't aware, the Sky Library offers meteorologist-drafted descriptions for every sky, so that way you can make some really good decisions. It'll also tell you what is happening in the sky. So this says that this can indicate that a front is approaching, and that means the weather may worsen. That doesn't necessarily match what's happening with this particular scene that I'm working with in this photo, but it's close enough. So let's just say I went ahead and downloaded this, and let's see, the name of this was Summer Morning 006. So we're going to go ahead and add Summer 006 into this, and we're going to position it where the sun belongs. So we know the sun's going to be behind us again. So let's find the sun. We see the sun's right here, so we're just going to move it to where it kind of goes where it belongs, way over here. And now that kind of matches up better with what we actually had. So we'll reduce this. We're going to scale the size of this a little bit here just so we can fill the frame in a bit. And where did that sky go? Sky's right there. So about right there would be, so about right here would be a good spot for this. We'll make sure the horizon matches up with the actual horizon. And I'm going to go ahead and brighten the sky up a little bit. It's a little dark, no big deal. And I think that's good. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And now we've got our sky replacement for the first image. Now we're going to go to the second image and we're going to use the exact same sky, but we're going to be able to move it over because we want, again, we want it to kind of match up with what was happening in the other sky, but we don't want to use the exact same sky placement, especially with architecture or commercial photos, because we want as much accuracy as possible. So let's go ahead and brighten this again. Let's find our sun. We know our sun's up here, so we're going to go ahead and this is probably a good spot for this. Maybe somewhere right here. Just adds a little bit of interesting texture in the sky versus where it was before. Bring our brightness up even more just to brighten this. And I think we're good here. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And this is what we got. So just to show you, same exact sky, but different positioning so that it shows that it is different. You're not using the same exact sky replacement. One of the things that we do as photographers is we tend to use, like I said, individual skies, and we use them for the same angles, and that's just not accurate to what was actually happening in the sky. So that's the nice thing about using panoramic skies, is that you can control that. So let me know if you have any questions on this. If you want to check out the sky library, definitely go do that. Again, you can search for any type of sky you want. You can search it by cloud coverage. You can go through our sunsets. You can purchase each sky at an individual price, or you can purchase one of the bundles, which will save you a significant amount of money. And one new feature that we just launched recently is our membership program. So you can become a monthly member of the Sky Library and receive free skies each month, which will actually save you money. Even though the Sky Library is relatively priced, this is a good option for those of you who want to receive consistent skies but don't maybe want to jump into a full bundle just yet. Also, none of the skies that I show or that I provide in the membership program are going to be available on the skylibrary.com. So you will not find any skies that I release in the membership at the skylibrary.com, which just gives you some exclusivity. So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for watching.